Tensions between the United States and Iran are once again on the rise, sparking serious concerns around the world. With strong warnings coming from President Donald Trump and a major US military buildup underway in the Middle East, many are asking the same question. How close are we to another major conflict? Let's take a closer look at what's happening, why it matters, and what could happen next. Trump tells Iran to make important decisions. His statement signals growing frustration within the White House as negotiations appear to have stalled. According to US officials, Washington believes Iran is delaying talks while continuing sensitive nuclear activities behind the scenes. At the same time, the United States has significantly increased its military presence across West Asia. This includes the deployment of warships, advanced fighter jets, and surveillance aircraft to key locations in the region. Pentagon officials say the move is designed to strengthen defense capabilities, protect US allies, and send a clear message of deterrence to Iran. In simple terms, the US is showing force, and Iran is paying close attention. Iranian leaders, meanwhile, have strongly rejected what they describe as American threats and pressure. Officials in Tehran say they will not negotiate under intimidation and warn that any military action would be met with immediate and powerful retaliation. Iran's armed forces have reportedly been placed on high alert, raising fears of a possible miscalculation that could quickly spiral out of control. This growing standoff is unfolding against a backdrop of deep mistrust that has existed for decades. Relations between Washington and Tehran have been strained ever since the 1979 Iranian Revolution, and the issue of Iran's nuclear program has long been a central point of conflict. The original nuclear deal, signed in 2015, aimed to limit Iran's nuclear activities in exchange for sanctions relief. But in 2018, President Trump withdrew the US from the agreement, calling it flawed and ineffective. Since then, efforts to revive or replace the deal have faced repeated setbacks. Now, with tensions escalating once again, the stakes are even higher. Military analysts warn that the current situation is extremely delicate. With large numbers of troops, ships, and aircraft positioned in close proximity, even a minor incident, such as a drone interception, naval encounter, or missile test, could rapidly escalate into a wider confrontation. Such a conflict would not be limited to just the US and Iran. It could drag in regional powers, disrupt global oil supplies, and send shockwaves through international markets. Energy prices could surge, shipping routes could be threatened, and global economic stability could suffer. For ordinary people, this means potential increases in fuel prices, inflation, and uncertainty in global trade. In short, the impact would be felt far beyond the Middle East. Despite the heated rhetoric, diplomatic channels remain open. Several countries, including European allies, are urging both sides to return to negotiations and avoid military escalation. They stress that dialogue, not confrontation, is the only path toward long-term stability. However, with strong political pressures on both sides, compromise will not come easily. For President Trump, taking a tough stance on Iran plays well with his political base and reinforces his image of strong leadership. For Iran's leadership, standing firm against US pressure is seen as vital to maintaining national pride and regional influence. As a result, both sides appear locked in a dangerous game of brinkmanship, pushing boundaries while hoping the other side backs down first. So, what happens next? Much depends on whether diplomacy can gain traction before tensions boil over. A return to serious negotiations could ease fears and stabilize the region. But if talks collapse entirely, the risk of military confrontation will continue to grow. For now, the world watches closely, hoping that cooler heads will prevail. Because when two powerful nations stand face to face, history reminds us that the cost of conflict is always far greater than the price of compromise.